The man saved a little swallow from a poisonous snake and took care of it by dressing its wounds. In order to repay the man for saving her life, the swallow flew thousands of miles to the kingdom of swallows and begged the queen of swallows for a golden seed, which she delivered to the man. The man also buried the seed in the ground, and in an instant, are very happy when they saw it, thinking that the gourd could be sold for a lot of money to make ends meet. The next day, when the gourd was ripe, the man and his wife took up a saw to cut the gourd in two to see what was inside. Excitedly, they began to saw the gourd slowly, but as soon as they reached 1/3 of the gourd, the sound of a beautiful piano came out from inside. The family was so curious that they leaned over the gourd to listen carefully, but just as they were listening, the gourd suddenly shone with a 7-colored glow. The next second, the gourd exploded violently, and a colorful mist rose from it. The man's family was instantly shocked and stood still. Before they could react, a rainbow broke through the sky. The original dilapidated thatched hut was transformed into a luxurious mansion, the inside of which was as extravagant as a king's palace. Just as they were dazzled, the door of the mansion slowly opened and a few swallows flew out of it to the top of their heads and then sprinkled a touch of gold dust that fell on their bodies. In an instant, their worn-out linen clothes were transformed into expensive embroidered garments, and even the puppy's neck was covered with gold, and the family became the richest in the world. At the invitation of the swallows, the family excitedly entered the mansion, where the pavilions, gardens and ponds were breathtakingly beautiful. The decoration of the house was even more luxurious, with all kinds of silk and pearls, and the granary was filled with enough food to feed the whole village for more than 10 years. However, the man did not change his kind heart. He opened his own granary and began to help the villagers in need, and his wife gave all kinds of expensive silks to the women of the village so that they could wear the new clothes they had always dreamed of. The villagers rushed back home full of gratitude to the man's family. However, the news of the man's overnight wealth was also heard by his brother and sister-in-law, who were skeptical. In order to verify the truth of this rumor, the older brother couldn't wait to rush towards his brother's home and arrived at his brother's residence in no time. Jealous, he immediately raised his foot and kicked at the door, but the next moment, looking around, he learned that all the swallows in the neighborhood had gone to his brother's house. So he went over to his brother's house and begged them to come to his house to breed. The swallows took pity on him and built a nest in his house, with 3 little swallows. When the man saw that the time was right, he bought a poisonous snake and tried to kill the swallows in order to save them. The viper showed no interest. The man tried his best to coerce the viper, but he fell from the roof when a tile fell off and the viper hit the bird's nest, killing the 2 swallows. The snake was trying to escape, but the man stepped on the rope, but the snake dragged him to the ground. Undeterred, he tried to grab the snake but was bitten by the angry snake. The wife rushed over to carry her husband back to the house and the snake escaped through the hole. Overnight, the man waited until the night and secretly climbed to the swallow house and caught the swallow in his hand. When he saw that no one was around, a sinister smile appeared on his face and he broke the swallow's legs and threw it to the ground. Then he put on a caring face and tenderly held the swallow in his hand and asked his wife to bring some good medicine to bandage it up. When everything was done, the man returned the swallow to its nest. After returning to the house, the man couldn't help but dream of the swallows bringing him gold seeds to repay his kindness. The golden seeds also produced 8 big gourds which had countless gold and silver jewels and endless gold coins, making him the richest man in the world overnight, and he would never have to worry about money for the rest of his life. However, just at this moment, the swallow put a seed in the ground, and after watering it, the seed instantly broke through the ground and vines quickly climbed all over the roof of the man's house, and even made contact with 3 huge gourds in the night. The man and his wife were so excited that they thought it was their turn to become rich overnight and realized the reversal of their lives. The next morning, the man spent a lot of money to hire 2 workers to come to the house to help them saw the gourds. But just halfway through the sawing process, a strange sound came out of the gourd and the man leaned over to listen carefully, but the gourd suds of rat spirits came out of the golden gourd. The golden gourd was cut open and hundreds of rat sperm ran out and swarmed into the granary and ate all the food inside. By the time the man went to check, the inside only left a mountain of mouse droppings left in place. Thinking that his brother would get rich overnight by cutting open a gold gourd, the man decided to saw open a second gold gourd. Seeing the 2 workers because of the scene just scared reluctant, he took out 10 times the wages to their hands and then began to saw the second golden gourd. Unexpectedly, before sawing halfway, there was a heavy bell ringing inside, which made the man even more convinced that there were countless gold, silver and jade objects inside. However, suddenly the golden gourd split in the center and a strange smoke instantly enveloped the place. The man thought that they're out of his wits and agreed to the monk's request. He first handed over all the silk in his house and then fell to his knees to thank the monks. And the 3 monks, without further ado, rolled up the silk and flew off into the sky. However, the man was very reluctant to pull off the beads and then grabbed the silk and tried to pull it back, but he was carried up into the sky. The monk saw this situation is also not polite, directly knocked the man down. Coworkers were furious and turned around and left the place without paying for their work. However, the man was not willing to saw open the 3rd gold gourd to find out the truth. Of the wife wanted to stop, but he kicked him out of the way. Then he picked up an axe and chopped at the gourd under his wife's horrified gaze. The next second, the gourd flashed a golden light and exploded, sending the man flying. After a strange mist, the wife were so scared that they fell to their knees and begged the cat for mercy. But the cat was determined to send them to their deaths. The couple panicked and fled into the house, and the cat followed them into the house, its huge body crashing through the yard, and the house was soon riddled with holes. In just a few moments, the whole house was reduced to rubble. Watching the giant cat pounce on them, The couple was instantly scared to death. First, the evil brother and sister-in-law finally paid for their greed and the kind brother and family lived happily ever after.